performance issues in Wuthering Waves on PC, namely the city stutter and the exit freeze issues. I didn't know how that video would do, but it did well. Really well. And with over 1,200 comments, there was a mix of understanding, indifference, and also those asking, but what about mobile? And honestly, I get it. I know that a huge chunk of the player base is on mobile, and they also have
Will you
just
come
as many,
on stream as an AOS playable? Oh, absolutely.
They still have the exit freeze and city stutter problems, but also others like your phone getting hot, frame rates dropping, and enemies blowing around on screen while your battery drains faster than it can charge.
Pondering. Day 5 of pondering. Why is Ryuuku Sensei's mic floating? How does he do that?
And ever since 2.1, Kuro has been bringing out graphics enhancements like immersive grass, more reflections, water physics, leaf and balloon physics, and with each update, more and more mobile players unfortunately had to drop the game because it became unplayable for them. And you might just chalk it up to, well, it's a big game. Mobile hardware is limited, so what can Kuro do about that? Well, it turns out quite a lot, because someone actually sat down with a Snapdragon 8 Elite, one of the most powerful chips on the market right now, and hooked up to a performance tracing tool and captured exactly what's happening inside the game at a technical level.
Or chat, you could use an iPhone, because iPhone is better than Android. It ain't what it do, chat.
And what they found is, honestly, kind of wild. The game isn't slow because your phone is weak. It's slow because the game is working against itself. So let's break this all down. With that being said, my name is Ryuuku Sensei, and this is Wuthering Waves performance issues on mobile.
I see.
Before we begin, if you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend watching this video first before this one, as some problems overlap. Now, let's start with something important. On the latest flagship phones, like your iPhone 15 Pro...
Wait, what did you just say? Did bro just say flagship phones? What?
If you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend watching this video first before this one, as some problems overlap. Now, let's start with something important. On the latest flagship phone...
Flagship phone! We have a flagship phone and a big doozy. Main push phones. Main push. Oh, so you're basically talking about the Android flagship versus the Apple flagship. And then the main push for the Android flagship is, I'm guessing, this Snapdragon 8, well, what the fuck is it, right? And the main push for iPhone is actually nothing, because iPhone is absolute fucking...
like your iPhone 15 Pros, your Snapdragon...
Wait, you just said iPhone 15 Pro, chat. Wait, you just said iPhone 15 Pro, guys. Wait, that's my phone. So basically, I am running the flagship.
Elite devices. Wuthering Waves actually runs pretty well in the open world. Smooth, 60 FPS, great visuals, no complaints. But the moment you enter combat, things...
Flagship is a normal term in electronics for years, by the way. I've never heard that in my entire life.
Tend to fall apart. Frame rates tank into the 40s, sometimes even the 30s, especially in the nightmare nests. Your phone gets hot, your battery drains fast, and you're left wondering, is the game just too demanding? Here's the twist though.
That's a great question.
It's not that the game is too demanding, it's that the game is being wasteful. So first things first, I think I have to point out that the data we're looking at was captured using a tool called Shoutout, which was developed by Samsung, designed to analyze both the GPU and the CPU workloads. So this is a legit tool. And with that being said, I'm going to have to explain how graphics are rendered in the first place, but stick with me here because it's going to be very important. Okay, so everything you see in a game is made of triangles. Millions of tiny triangles, all stitched together to form everything you see on your screen. Characters, the environments, effects, everything. Your GPU's job is to take those triangles and figure out what to actually draw on the screen. Now, not every triangle needs to be drawn. Like, if a triangle is behind you, or off screen, or hidden behind a wall, you don't need it. The GPU can detect this very early and just throws it away before doing any real work. This is called trivial rejection, and it's supposed to be cheap and fast. Say, for example, there's an NPC behind a wall. The NPC is there, but it's not rendered onto the screen because, well, it's behind a wall. But here's the thing. Cheap work doesn't mean free. Before the GPU rejects a triangle, the CPU had to prepare it, send it over, and then the GPU had to partially process it just to figure out it was useless. That's wasted effort at every single step. It's like someone passing over a note saying, don't read me. The effort to write the note, the wasted paper, and then the effort taken to read the note just to find out you don't have to read it in the first place. In Wuthering Waves open world though, about 50% of all the geometry sent to the GPU gets immediately thrown away. That is half gone before a single pixel is drawn. For comparison, Rainbow Six Siege Mobile, a game that runs beautifully on mobile, has a rejection rate of near 0. The CPU does the filtering before anything gets sent to the GPU, so the GPU only handles what it actually needs. But it gets worse. In combat scenarios like nightmare nests and boss fights, the rejection rate in WuWa hits upwards of 99%. Yeah, you heard that right. Almost every single triangle being sent to the GPU is immediately thrown away. The GPU is doing all this work, fetching data and running early calculations for geometry that never renders a single pixel. This is what's called CPU-side culling failure. The game engine basically stops filtering geometry before sending it to the GPU. The GPU then has to sort through mountains of useless data. To use that note analogy from earlier, it's like handing an accountant a bag of random trash and asking them to find all the receipts. The next issue is textures. Every surface in the game
by
has
the way,
texture.
unrelated, bro, I treat my accountants extremely nicely. MrPokke is an accountant, guys. Bro, every single month, I record everything myself. All receipts, all business expense, all salary, all payrolls. I record them myself. And my accountant just goes in and compile everything and sends it to IRAS. Bro, I'm a very, very meticulous guy when it comes to finances, right? So I want to do
Like the look of
shout
stone,
out to my accountant.
skin, water, or armor. When the GPU needs to apply a texture, first it checks a small, super fast memory cache called L1, then a slightly slower one called L2. Think of L1 being all the stuff on your table and L2 being the stuff in your desk drawer. Only if it can't find the texture in either of these places does it have to go all the way to main memory, which is much, much slower, like I mentioned in my previous video. This would be like having things in a bookshelf at the other end of the room. Now, usually, most texture requests hit L1 or, at worst, L2 cache, but in Wuthering Waves, there's an L1 cache miss rate of 70 to 100%, meaning at its worst, every single texture lookup fails to find what it needs in the fastest cache.
So that sounds really bad. Right, guys? This sounds really bad. So in order to fix this problem, they need to reduce this L1 cache. Yes?
Rate
Yes,
of 70 to 100%, meaning at its worst, every single texture lookup fails to find what it needs in the fastest cache. And how about that L2 miss rate, like the one in the desk drawer? Around 45%. So nearly half the time, the GPU has to go all the way to main memory to find what it needs. Doing this creates something called texture stalls. The GPU literally stops and waits for texture data to arrive before it can continue. And waiting means heat, battery drain, and dropped frames. So why does this happen? It actually ties back to that first culling problem. Because so much junk is being submitted without proper sorting, the GPU constantly jumps between totally unrelated textures, trashing the cache and refilling it with stuff it may not even need. This is the equivalent of constantly having your desk and drawers cluttered up. There's also one more surprising detail here. Anisotropic filtering appears to be completely disabled.
I see.
What the hell is that? When a textured
What
surface like
is
a
that
road or a
shit?
floor stretches away from you into the distance, the GPU has to squeeze the texture in one direction but not the other. Skipping over a bunch of technical stuff, without AF, the GPU takes a shortcut that results in blurred surfaces. The thing is though, on modern hardware, it's essentially free to enable.
Yo, Cole, kill your nose. Nobody ever does your nose. Yeah, kill your nose.
It's just one of those things that could be switched on for a visual improvement at no real performance cost. I was
Bro, y'all
baffled by this. So I
never
asked the person
ever
who took
use
these
your
measurements
nose,
if
bro.
this was an error in the recording software. They told me that anisotropic filtering is in Wuthering Waves, but it's set at X2, which is basically negligible, so it's understandable it doesn't get picked up. So after all this, let's get back to the original question. Why does open world feel smooth while combat completely falls apart? Now that we understand
That's a
the
great
issues, it
question.
actually starts to make a lot of sense. In the
Whoa,
open
the
world,
ball just
GPU
fucking
frequency is
appeared,
low
bro.
to mid, with
The ball just
utilization sitting somewhere around
and it just
50%,
appeared.
and you're locked at 60 frames per second. Things are wasteful, but the hardware is powerful enough to brute force through the inefficiency and still deliver a playable
Brute
experience.
force
In combat, though,
content,
the
I see.
GPU maxes
Brute
out.
forcing.
Utilization hits 100% and frame rates drop into the 40s or even 30s. And here's the thing, it's not because the combat looks dramatically better either. It's because every single problem compounds at once. That rejection rate spikes to 99%. Cache misses go up, and when VFX, particles, and other overlapping effects stack up, the GPU is forced to shade the same pixels over and over. This is another issue called overdraw, which is a whole other problem in and of itself. The GPU isn't working harder because it's doing more meaningful work. It's choking because it's drowning in inefficiency. But even in the open world, where things are a little less intense, there's a subtle sign of trouble. The GPU essentially gets no rest between frames.
damn, her
Even on
thighs
8
are
Elite, there are barely
huge.
any idle moments between rendering each frame. And if that's how it is for one
Holy.
of the fastest chips on the market right now, then on a mid-range phone, there would be zero breathing room at all. That is a recipe for thermal throttling,
Whoa,
battery
the
drain,
ball.
and stuttering. And here's another technical issue that's worth understanding.
The ball,
Shader
though.
precision. Shaders are the little programs that run on the GPU to calculate lighting, colors, and all those other effects. The math used in those shaders can run at either full precision or half precision, basically the difference of how far down the decimals they go. On Qualcomm's Adreno GPUs, which are the ones found in most flagship Android phones nowadays, half precision runs twice as fast and is the generally recommended approach for most visuals such as general color blending and lighting, stuff like that. This is even explicitly stated in the official Qualcomm documentation. The thing is though, Wuthering is running its shaders at full precision 4 times more than half precision. Doing this uses up half of the GPU's available processing power for no visual benefit. Basically, Wuthering is shading things too perfectly most of the time for things that don't even really matter. In the open world, this is fine. The GPU can keep up with that. But in combat, when you have particle effects, skills, and overlapping transparency all stacking on the same pixels, that overdraw problem kicks in. Those already expensive full precision shaders aren't running once per pixel. They're running 4 or 5 times once for each of those layered effects. And if you use an alt where everything blacks out, all of that work gets rejected anyway. You're starting from an already inefficient...
What the fuck is that, bro? Kill that emote. But what the actual fuck is that emote? Kill that emote. Hell nah. Hell nah. It's so bad.
Baseline.
It's so bad.
It, then just throwing it away. Kind of like working out several perfect shades of paint to put on the wall. All of them different. Painting the wall several times, then just
that is already good enough.
Wallpaper. That combination of wasteful shaders, dense combat effects, plus all the culling and cache problems is why your phone starts to heat up so quickly. All of this, and mobile still has those other 2 problems that PC players have, the exit freeze and the city stutter. But here's the good news, and this is the important part. None of these mobile issues are unfixable. These aren't deep architectural problems like the game thread issue. They're optimization choices that Kuro Games could address in future patches. And here's what that could look like. Before the game sends any geometry to the GPU, the CPU should be filtering out anything that doesn't need to be drawn. Getting that 99% rejection rate down is a huge priority. Next is by grouping similar textures and materials together in draw calls. That way, the GPU can stay in the same part of the memory longer, which would dramatically improve cache hit rates and reduce stalls. For anisotropic filtering, seriously, this just might be a toggle. It would improve visual quality for essentially 0 performance cost. If there's a reason why it isn't on already, I would love to know why. And for the textures themselves, they need to be preloaded based on where the camera is pointing and where the player is moving, not fetched reactively mid-frame. Also, and I didn't get into this earlier, the game currently caps its texture streaming pool at 400 megabytes, even on phones with 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM. Raising that pool size could also meaningfully reduce cache misses. As of right now, on a Snapdragon 8 Elite, Wuthering struggles to hit 60 frames per second in the open world. But if all of these were addressed, that number would likely hit 120 frames per second with no trouble. And maybe even 60 FPS during combat would also be very achievable. And for the lower end devices and mid-range phones that are currently experiencing stutters and unplayable frame rates, these improvements could be the difference between the game being borderline broken and actually enjoyable. Now, look, I want to be clear about this. This isn't a Kuro bad video. Wuthering Waves is genuinely beautiful. The combat feels incredible, and Kuro has shown that they care about their player base. I don't think this game will ever be able to be played on potato phones, even though that would be cool, but this is just me saying, hey, there's a real opportunity to fix things here and to keep a lot more people playing, and the more people playing means more money for Kuro. For PC, the problems seem to be mostly due to Unreal Engine and the CPU bottleneck that Kuro can't do anything about. But on mobile, the problems lie with the GPU. Namely, the gap between how the GPU is currently being used and what it's capable of. And the players who stand to benefit the most aren't those on flagship phones. It's the people on mid-range devices who are struggling to play at all. And I'm saying this...
Okay, so here's my suggestion, guys, right? Here's my suggestion, right? Pull the flagship phones, bro. Bro, why are you using your silly version 1 non-flagship phones when you can just use the flagship phones, guys? Alright? Hey, come on, guys. It's a realistic feedback. It's a realistic feedback. Why use a phone to play a game? You know what? That is very, very true. Wait, why are y'all even playing games on the phone? Phones should be used for productivity, for communication, and for doom scrolling, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. Right? If y'all want to play a game, get a PC, bro. Right, so excellent point by chat. So the 2 solutions right now is either get a flagship phone or play the game on your PC and reduce your time wasted playing on the phone, right? And then phone Nova Flare. Wait, if you think about it, if they give like software updates for phones, isn't that technically Nova Flare? Because phones get software updates, right? Like all the time. So every single one of those software updates is like a mini Nova Flare. Kind of, right? Isn't that how it works? Software update downgrades my phone. What? Hell no. It's a downgrade. Oh, software upgrade is a downgrade. Okay. Gotcha, bro. Hold it, bro. Bro, he is the one that said flagship phones, bro. I am merely reciprocating what is being said, right? Bro, listen.
Aren't those on flagship phones? It's the people on mid-range devices who are struggling to play at all.
And there it is, chat. Flagship phone owners will not have this issue, right? Only non-flagship phone owners will have this issue. So the solution is get a fucking... I'm rage baiting, guys, right?
I'm saying this as someone who doesn't even play on mobile. I just want this game and the fanbase to grow, and it's a real shame whenever I see a comment from someone that says that they had to drop it, even when they didn't want to. The more visibility that these issues get, the more likely it is that Kuro
even
will
these
prioritize
has
them
mid-range
in
phone.
future updates.
Bro,
So
I don't even know, bro.
what do you think? I imagine that if
What
they
do
can solve
you
these issues, then even performance on PlayStation could make a comeback. But I'm curious, which one of these issues would you want Kuro to focus on first?
It's a great
If there's
video.
anything wrong in this video, I
And
sincerely
never this.
apologize. If you're
An
knowledgeable in any way
exceptional
about this,
video,
then
if I
please
can
tell me
say
what
so
I got
myself.
wrong. And again, let's be
Ensure
respectful
use
about any
tier
disagreements.
0.
Also,
bro, we
if
should
you want
also
more
do
deep
like a
dives like
phone
this, then
tier list.
Don't forget to like and subscribe because it greatly supports the channel.
Yo, chat, we should also do a phone tier list. Not even gonna lie. Okay, wait, before this video ends, let's just do a phone tier list. Right now. Wait, hold up. Phone tier list maker. Alright, we'll give this like 5 minutes. Holy shit. I need like a smaller list. Alright, this looks better, right? This looks better. Alright, let's make a phone tier list right now. So, Apple is obviously tier 0, right? Actually, you know what? Tier 0. Tier 0.5. Tier 1. Tier 2.
You'll rate iPhone just like how you rate Thick Sale, even if they're mid-sun.
Shout the actual fuck. Boy, thank you so much for the 100 billion. So, Apple is gonna be tier 0, right? Without, I don't even know what brand this is. Oh, you know what? What is this brand, bro? I have no idea what brand it is. Bro, Xiaomi, honestly, not too shabby. I will give this a solid tier 1. Samsung, honestly, not too shabby. I'll probably give this a tier 0. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what this is. This thing not EOS. Motorola went EOS, right? I'm pretty sure they went EOS. They not went EOS. Oh, they did EOS? Okay, then this is gonna be tier 2. I didn't know LG made phones. So, I have no idea what this is. This is like probably tier 2. This is probably tier 2. Google is Google, so we'll give it a tier 0.5. Huawei is a big boy though. Bro, I heard a lot of good things about Huawei. You know what? I'm gonna put Huawei above Samsung. Right? Realme, I have no idea what that is. Sony, I didn't know they make phones. Asus, I didn't even know Asus made phones. I thought they made PC and laptops. Probably, I have no idea what this is. 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 What is that? What is that? Fairphone, I see. Meizu, Quakedell, TCL, Ugraphone, and Techno, right? So that is gonna be our phone tier list in 30 seconds. Let me know what y'all think about MrPokke's phone tier list. And with that, we're gonna come to the end of this discussion. See you guys on the clip channel. See you guys on the clip channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? And never this, guys. And never this. And never this. Relevant? Fapple with... I have no fucking idea what that even means. Oh, but thank you. Okay, chat. So what would be your tier list? What would be your tier list then? What would be your tier list? Okay, tell me what would y'all rate it. Chat's tier list. All right, let's see it. Let's see it. Asus goes up. Is Asus ROG not a laptop? Apple is tier 2. I mean, y'all are just wrong, but okay, sure. Okay, so what's tier 0? What's tier 0? What's tier 0? Samsung tier 0. Okay. Redmi tier 1. Okay. Asus tier 0. Okay. Okay. Poco tier... What the fuck is a Poco, bro? Xiaomi tier 0. Holy shit. Okay. Bro, there's too many tier 0s, guys. Poco tier 1. Okay. Oppo is tier 0. Okay. Infinix is tier 0. Bro, chat, there's too many tier 0s. Alright, chat, I'm keeping tier 0 to only 3. There can only be 3 tier 0s. Any other tier 0s, they will go back down. Xiaomi 0.5. Alright, good. I need one more to go 0.5. I need one. Oh, Samsung is tier 2. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, so this is done. Okay, this is done. Okay, listen. Oppo is tier. Okay. I'll keep these three, right? I'll keep this. Tier 0 is Apple. Okay, I'll just keep it as this. Give me some other names, guys. Asus is not tier 0, is 0.5. Okay, sure. Apple is tier 0. You know what? Since chat says Apple is tier 0, I'll just put Apple in tier 0. Asus is tier 1. Oh, okay, sure. Sell this. Okay.
You don't even know how to take a screenshot on your phone. Why are you rating phone brands?
What the fuck are you saying, little bro? What the actual fuck are you even saying? All right. IQ is tier 0.5. Okay. Okay, that is gonna be tier 0.5. Whoa. All right. What else? What else? What else? What else? Put Apple on. I mean, Apple is already tier 0. OnePlus is 0.5. Where is OnePlus again? OnePlus 0.5. Okay. Honor tier 0.5. Okay. Vivo tier 0.5. Okay. Asus is mid. Okay, tier 1 is basically mid. Nothing is tier 2. Okay, done. Okay. Oppo tier 0.5. Infinix tier 0.5. So the only tier 0 is gonna be Apple once again. Hey, this is not even my tier list, by the way. This is chat's tier list. I'm literally listening to chat right now. Bro, this is not even mine. Y'all are saying Apple is tier 0. Y'all are saying Apple is tier 0. Alright? So, and I want to do is, and I want to W ratio. Signosis? What? Signosis? What about Signosis, bro? Bro, there's no Signosis. What the fuck are you saying? Huawei tier 1. Huawei. Where? Huawei tier 1. Alright. Okay. Techno tier 1. Okay. Techno tier 1. Pogo tier 0 because it's free to play friendly. Nobody fucking cares about free to play friendly. So I don't want to do. Realme tier 2. Alright, done. Okay. Where is Nubia Ray Match? I have no idea what that is. The reason iPhone 17 base model makes them tier 1. MrPokke is beyond tier 0. Okay. Realme. Okay. Pogo 0.5 free to play friendly. Nope. Apple tier 1. Nope. Really bad. Slow charge phone cannot tier 0. Okay. Samsung tier 0. No. No phone. LG and Sony is tier 2. Done. Yo, chat, I need to clear this list here, right? So that I can say a chat's tier list versus my tier list. Realme is trash. Okay, that's why it's tier 2. Right? LG is EOS. Okay. Okay, I need y'all to tell me the list of like these phones. Right? These phones right here. There's like, what brand is this, bro? Pogo is literally Xiaomi, bro. Nothing is tier 2. Intel is tier 2. Oh, Intel is tier 2. Do we even have, okay, Intel is tier 2. Okay. Nothing later is bad. Okay, now just push everything up. Okay, what's up? Where else? Where else, chat? I need nothing. Oh, nothing is tier 2. Okay. I need CMI, Blackview, whatever this is, Qbot, Fairphone, Meizu, Okitau's TCL, and Ulay phone. Put the rest in tier 2. Alright. Okay, chat, is this a good list? This is chat's tier list, by the way. This is chat's tier list. Samsung tier 0. Okay, any violent objections for Samsung tier 0? Because I will put Samsung tier 0. Sony tier 0.5. Sony tier 0.5. Where's okay, Sony tier 0. Alright. Alright, W. Alright, W. Huawei tier 0. Alright, W. Alright, is this W, chat? Is this W? 3 tier 0 is Apple, Samsung, Huawei. Done. Alright, so that is chat's opinion, right? This is chat's opinion. Okay, are we good? Okay, we are good. So with that, we have come to the end of... That was previously my phone tier list. And then this is my chat's phone tier list. I did not make this. Chat made this. So I'll see you guys on the clip channel for the mobile, whatever fuck in 1 week, alright? You have cooled your last cool, my man.